Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Midnight Monster Corner Horror Podcast. I'm your host as always, Corey, and today we're bringing you Zombies. That's right, from 2005, and that's George Romero's Land of the Dead. Now this film follows a character by the name of Riley, in which he's got a partner by the name of Cholo. And essentially they are like scavengers for a big, well, I wouldn't say it's a big city, but it's a city essentially that's contained inside this zombie apocalypse. Um, and they're pretty much just at this point kind of tired of what they do, and they're both of them seems like they've kind of paid their dues and they're ready to move on with their lives. um, and this city is basically ran and owned by wealthy and rich people, mainly a character by a character played by Dennis Hopper. um, Now basically Riley just wants to kind of get out of the city, go off on his own. He's tired of living this life, and honestly, he's tired of seeing. I guess you almost get a sense that he's kind of tired of seeing like the rich kind of take everything and the poor just kind of deal with shit in life, essentially. Um, but yeah, and so he wants to just kind of get out of the city and go off on his own and live a normal rest of his life. And then John Leguizamo's character, Cholo, pretty much feels like he's paid his dues to these rich people. They need to let him live in the high rise with them and everything like that. Obviously, he doesn't get what he wants, and Dennis Hopper obviously has different motives for him. And so, yeah, he basically gets the notion that he's about to be murdered off. And so he gets in this essentially this giant ass tank and he books it. He calls back later on and demanding money, obviously, which Dennis Hopper's pretty much like, I'm gonna get, sorry about that. It says I'm gonna get, basically, Riley to go get my tank. So he has Riley go get his tank. Well, Riley kind of has alternative motives. He's gonna go get the tank and just leave, essentially. Um, But yeah, basically at that point, meanwhile, while that's all occurring, you've got basically a horde of zombies heading towards the city, um, and they are essentially smart zombies. These zombies are learning as they're going, and essentially this giant zombie by the name of Big Daddy um, is essentially teaching them how to use tools and get through things. And I'm pretty much just gonna leave it right there. If you haven't seen this, I'm not going to go too far into it. This is an older film, so obviously you might have seen this, but if you haven't, go check it out. It's pretty good. It's definitely not George Romero's worst work. It's pretty good. Um, with that being said, let's just jump straight into the things I like, things I dislike. So the things I dislike is honestly there was one scene where I was a little confused, and it was a scene between the mercenaries and Riley's character. And not so much Riley's character, but um, he basically has this group of people that are helping him. And then next thing you know, out of nowhere, they're like attacking the mercenaries. So that way, but there's like one mercenary that's kind of in with him and helping. So it was very odd to me, and I just honestly don't think that was explained quite well. I didn't really know what was happening there, and it might have just been honestly a lack of me looking away for a second. So could have been me, but with that being said, um, things I liked about this. So first of all, it had a lot of pyrotechnics, in which I'm usually I'm okay with. I'm not that big of a fan of pyrotechnics. But there was a lot of explosions in here and gunfire and just everything that you wouldn't do in a zombie apocalypse was happening. But yeah, so that was different, especially for a George Romero film. I don't think he does too many explosions and stuff, so this was kind of a little out of his zone. Um, the other things that I liked about this was honestly I like the almost the telling of the smart zombies. So in the beginning sequence, when you first initially meet Big Daddy, Like I said, he's very almost like very influenced by Bub, the Day of the Dead zombie. And essentially, he comes out of a gas station. Though there's a couple zombies that walk out and walk on that little rope that dings, and he comes out to pump gas, and there's no car there, and he's kind of looking around, very confused, like. And it's really cool because I like that aspect. I like the aspect of, yeah, they're dead, but their brain isn't dead, so they're still functioning almost as if they were human. That's really cool concept. I like that. I always loved his concepts when it came to zombies, anyways, and he always had that concept that they would always go back to the place that either they were comfortable or basically where they would just go back to everyday normal life. So that was really cool. I'm really glad to see that in this film. Um, yeah, and then again, zombies that use weapons. I'm actually a fan of that. And of course, obviously, the best film that I can think of that zombies used weapons. I really love Burial Ground. Like, and I will probably end up doing a review on Burial Ground, um, just because that's a pretty fun film. But yeah, so basically, zombies that use tools like that's really cool. I like that concept as well. Um, some of the kill scenes, though, just awesome in this film. There's one scene where this corpse walks up and it has no head, and then all of a sudden it lunges forward and his head slings down and bites somebody. And then his head flops back, and then they shoot him in the chest to shoot him in the head. That's pretty cool. Um, and then there was also a cringe scene in here where I ultimately had to turn away because I remember watching this movie a while ago, and honestly, I haven't revisited it in a while. And then, like I said, I got this Blu-ray in the mail a couple weeks ago, so I was like, I'm gonna watch this. Um, in which it was definitely a good choice. My wife actually sat down and watched it, and she loved it. But the cringe scene was the scene where the zombies like shove this woman down, and the zombie like comes in and like bites her belly button ring and like rips it out, and that was wow. I was not expecting that one, so it was pretty crazy. Um, but yeah, the other thing that I really liked about this was he didn't shy away from using a lot of uh, cast that you just would randomly see in the film, which I thought was really cool. Of course, like I said, you got Dennis Hopper, and then you've got obviously Simon Baker playing Riley, your main character, and then you have John Leguizamo, Eugene Clark as Big Daddy, and then God, who else? I did notice that Tom Savini was in it as a zombie, which I thought was pretty cool, and then Greg Nicotero is also in it as a zombie, so that's pretty neat. And then you've got some special guests in it, which you've got Simon Pegg, and then don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it was the writer as well, or at least writer and producer of Shaun of the Dead as well with him. I'm pretty sure that was him. But they were kind of chained up in like a booth, and rich people could like go and like take pictures with them and and be like, "Look at me!" So ridiculous. Um, but yeah, also, I didn't realize that she was in this, but there's a scene where this girl gets like thrown into this cage and she has to fight off zombies, um, and I was like, wait a minute, is that Asia? And then I had to look closely. I was like, oh my gosh, Asia Argento. So I was really pleased to see her in this film. She actually was really fun to watch in this film. She's pretty kick ass. So. But yeah, overall, this is a fun film. Like I said, it's definitely not George Romero's worst work, especially when it comes to the Dead films. I think Survival of the Dead's lacking a lot. I think, honestly, in my opinion, that one kind of, to me, it felt a little rushed, a little pieced together almost. But this one was pretty good. I enjoyed watching this one. He didn't shy away from anything in this film. This was pretty damn good, actually. Now, I'm not saying it's George's best work, but I'm saying it's pretty decent. I like it for what it is, and it's up there. It's definitely a lot different from his other work. But yeah, it's a great film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And also, with that being said, if you have seen it, leave a comment down below. Let's get a discussion going. What did you like about it? What did you dislike about it? Um, and you can also let me know what your thoughts are on this film on the Facebook group. So check me out there. I'm on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram now. But yeah, like always, like, share, subscribe, and if there's a special theme or if there's a special review you want to see, let me know. Definitely leave a comment, and I'll see if I can work that in. I've got a lot of films, so more than likely. And honestly, I'm just kind of working through my backlog doing these reviews. So if there's a specific one you guys want to see, just let me know, and I'll do it. All right. With that, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.